Hello everybody, welcome to another BXB game review. My name is Cameron. Today I'm bringing you a review of Infra. It's quite an interesting first person game. There's no guns, no running about or anything. It's quite simple. You play as a structural engineer and health and safety advisor. The aim of the game is to go around with your trusty camera and flashlight to take photos of decrepit areas of power plants and dams and stuff like that, and detail the problems within the city's infrastructure. Now there's a little backstory where the city has apparently just come out of a massive corruption problem with their politicians and with the businesses and stuff, and apparently the city is going to pop. It's absolutely going down, and you're sent in there to just a general check up of the areas and to report back what's going down. And everything is in absolute chaos basically, and the aim of the game is not just to take the photos obviously, because I think that might get a little bit boring, but there's a lot of mechanical puzzles, a lot of not just physics but actual mechanics like electrocution and other problems like that you have to evade and things you have to fix as you go along. And it's really cool because you really have to take notice of what you're doing and where you're looking, and as if it's actually your job. And there's loads of different areas you do it. You've got a power station, you've got a dam as well, you've got outdoor areas to really check up on. And there is a really cool mechanic about this whole thing, is that every choice that you make will have an outcome, desired or not, and you really need to focus on it. The main selling point of this game is that you have choices to make in the game, whether or not to do your job or to save your own life. Now, I know it's sounding really ambiguous the way I'm saying it, but it's the truth of it. There are points in the game where you really need to focus on whereabouts you're going, where you're coming from, to do a certain job. I wouldn't say this game is hard. The kind of difficult thing about it is that it doesn't tell you. It doesn't have a mission select, it doesn't have an objective counter, it doesn't have that kind of thing for you to just briefly look through and just go, oh, I need to cut the power to the dam, or everybody's going to be fish fried. It's not, it's just you're taking notice of things, and as you do these things, they will add up at the end of the game, a better ending for your character, and for the city itself as well. But the thing is that if you don't go for those duty things and you only work to save yourself as you go along, then it's kind of bad for the rest of the city. So you really have to focus on your own morality, whether or not you're going to save the city or just yourself. And as you go along the areas, they get more dangerous. There's a lot more puzzles involved, you getting out alive, and more documents as you go along that will detail the level of corruption and the plot as you play along. I think they did a really good job of this game. The graphics are decent, the puzzles in it and the mechanics are really interesting. It's nothing I've ever played before. It's really got that immersive feel. That feel that you can't just play it like any other shooter, first person or driving game. You really have to focus on everything you're doing in the game, whether or not, will you go down this way to fix this first, or will you go back, and will that time frame that you give yourself to go back and do the other thing, will that have a different outcome on the other? You just don't know. You really have to use your own judgment, and for that you really need to think. You've also got problems such as battery power for your flashlight or your camera. They are pretty sparse across the entire game, so you really have to focus on regulating both to make sure that you have enough power for both of them. But I highly enjoyed this game. The puzzles are really creative, and it's a really good use of the mechanics that are involved as well. I really want to give Infra a good 3.5 stars. But I only say 3.5 right now. I'd probably give it a 4 if I had more to play. And I know they've got another episode coming out, and I really can't wait to finish that one as well. So I'll give it a 3, and as soon as the second episode comes out, I'll probably add an extra star on top of that. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Cameron, and you've been watching another BXB game review. If you'd like to see some more of our reviews, head on over to bxbgames.co.uk or follow us on Twitter @bxbgames. Thanks very much again, and I'll see you next time.